Hello, welcome to 50-Minute Guitar Christmas Special. Picture the scene. It's Christmas morning and you've just got down and you've opened your present and you've been given a guitar for Christmas. What an awesome present. So you're going to want to learn something, and it being the festive season, you're probably going to want to learn a couple of Christmas tunes. So in these two videos, we're going to teach you Jingle Bells with melody and chords. And in the second video, we're going to teach you Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer with melody and chords. I'll see you in the video. Okay, so here we go then, we're going to learn the melody to Jingle Bells. We've broken this into two sections. So the main bit is dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, and then the second section, which is the chorus, which everyone sings along to, is Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle All the Way. So section number one, we start on the open G string, straight to open E, finger 3, fret 3 on the B string, finger 1, fret 1 on the B string, and then back to the open G. That's our first phrase. So we got... Okay, next section, we're going to do 3 picks, down, up, down on the open G string, then open E again, fret 3 again with the third finger on the B string, and then fret 1 on the B string. Second time, we're going to go to fret 2 on the G string. So we put these two phrases together, we got... Okay, and then over the hills we go, that this section goes... Fret 2 again on the G string, up to fret 1 on the high E string, open on the E string, and then fret 3 on the B string, and then open on the B string. So and then the laughing all the way bit is fret 3 on the high E string, 2 picks on that, fret 1 on the E string, high E string, fret 3 on the B string, and then open E on the high E string. Don't forget as well, if I'm going through this quite quickly, you'll have tablature to accompany this, so you can look at that, and also you can rewind back the video and stop it wherever you need to. So far we've got this. Then pretty much the same thing again, so... When we get to that point, you're going to go... Fret 2 on the G string with the second finger, fret 1 on the high E, and then open on the high E, 3 on the B, and then you're going to go laugh and sing on the fret 3 on the high E string. Then we're going to slide up from 3 with the third finger up to fret 5, and then back to 3, back to 1, and then fret 3 on the B, finger 1, fret 1 on the B. And that's the whole first section. That's the dashing through the snow section. Okay, so on to section number 2. This is the bit everybody knows. Jingle bells, jingle bells, jingle all the way. This goes open E string, high E string. So we're going to do 6 of those, and then we're going to pick it one more time. Finger 3, fret 3 of the high E string. And then finger 1 on fret 1 of the B string. Finger 3, fret 3 of the B string. And then open E again. So we got... And oh, what fun it is to laugh and sing, is finger 1, fret 1 on the high E string. So that bit, we're going to do that 3 times, so... And then again for 2, and then open for 2. Okay, and then... 3 of those, 3 open E's, fret 3 with the third finger on the B string, and pick that again, open E, fret 3 again on the B, and then roll across with your third finger onto the E string fret 3. And then we do that around again. So if we put together what we got so far from the chorus bit, so we got okay, second time, same again. Exactly the same. And then we go fret 3 on the high E string, 2 of those, fret 1 on the high E string, and then finger 3, fret 3 on the B string, and then down to fret 1 on with your first finger on the B string. And that concludes the 2 parts. So we've got Dashing Through the Snow section, and we've got the chorus bit, which is Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle All the Way. Enjoy that, guys. So in the previous video, you just learnt the melody line, and in this video, you're going to be learning the chords to this, to Jingle Bells. So it's quite common on Christmas morning, maybe, or on a Christmas evening when you've had a few sherries. You know, people might want to have a little sing-song, and it's quite common for you to play the chords to that, to accompany them singing. We're in the key of C, so hopefully all your guests can sing in the key of C. But you probably wouldn't play the melody line over that, in that concept, because you want people to sing along, and it will sound quite empty with just the melody line. To practice along with this, remember you get the backing track, so you can do both. You can practice the melody and the chords. But if you're playing with some guests and just having some fun, you probably want to know the chords and the strumming pattern. In this song, there's only 4 chords that you need to know, which is really, really good. So there's not loads and loads of chords to learn. The 4 chords you're going to learn today are C. We're going to do a G, an F, and a G7. Okay, not necessarily in that order, but that's the chords that you need to know. So the first chord that we're going to do today is C. So if you've not done C before, you're going to put your third finger on the 3rd fret of the A string, your second finger on the 2nd fret of the D string, open G string there, okay, if you're still working out where the G is, it's that one there, and then your first finger on the 1st fret of the B string there, okay? A couple of things to mention before we move on to the next couple of chords. Try and keep your fingers close to the fret wire. Imagine you're sort of just about to shuffle into the next fret there. By doing that, you're making sure that the notes are not going to buzz and you're not going to get some fret buzz. If you don't, and you do it all like this, you get that horrible clunky sound. We don't want that. So keep your fingers nice and close to the fret wires. That's tip number 1. And tip number 2 is try and keep your fingers on the tips of their fingers. So I liken it to sort of a ballet dancer. They stand on their, on their tiptoes, really sort of good posture. You want to try and keep your fingers up as high as you can up here, so that you're not obstructing any strings, open strings, when you go to strum. All right. And then last tip, tip number 3. If there's some strings that are there that you know you're going to hit, but they're not in the chord, for instance, this low E string, use your thumb just resting on the top there, just to mute it, so that when you hit the chord, you don't hit the low E string there, because we don't want that in the chord. It will muddy the chord up, okay? So 3 tips there to just think about is keep your fingers close to the fret wires, watch that thumb over the top, so keep the thumb to mute it there, and think like a ballet dancer. Try and keep your fingers on the tiptoes, so that you don't obstruct any other strings. Okay, so with that in mind, that's our C chord there, and we hit that from the A string. If you accidentally hit it from the E, it's fine, because we've covered it with the thumb on the left hand here. So we strum that through. When you're just practicing your chords, just do 4 strums to begin with. I will give you a strumming pattern later on once we've learnt the chords, but to begin with, 4 strums. Make sure that sounds good and that you're happy with that, okay? Right then, on to the next chord. Our next chord we're going to do is F. As I said, this is not necessarily in the order of the song, but the next chord we're going to do is an F chord. This is nearly the same. We move the fingers down, so the same shape we move down. So watch this. My first finger stays where it is for now, and my 3rd and 2nd fingers move down. So the 3rd finger goes on the 3rd fret of the D string, and the 2nd finger goes on the 2nd fret of the G string. Now what we're going to do is we're going to lie the first finger down, and this is a tricky chord. It's called the F chord for a reason, but it's a tricky chord. You put your first finger across the B and the E strings, the high strings there, and then you angle your other fingers there like that. So you want to angle these ones up, and that one lays down. This is quite tricky, and as you may have noticed, my thumb has moved down on the back of the neck to make sure that I can reach that chord there. If I bring it up over the top there, it changes the angle of my fingers, and it might not ring out nice and clear. So I've dropped my thumb down to be able to achieve that nice arch there with the fingers, okay? So finger 3, fret 3 of the D, finger 2, fret 2 of the G, and finger 1 is doing a little mini bar, not the drink variety, over B and E strings at the top there. Okay, and that's our F chord. And we hit that from the D string. Again, just do 4 strums to get used to it. Okay, that's our F chord. Probably the trickiest one. You're probably going to struggle with that one a little bit. And then on to the G. Now we're going to do our G like this today. There's a couple of variations of G, but we're just going to stick with this one today because I think it's probably the simplest one to do. We're going to put our second finger on the 3rd fret of the low E string, our first finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and our 3rd finger on the high E string. And you might want to experiment. You can either do your little finger there or your 3rd. When you look at extra G variations chords, you'll notice that your 3rd finger, you might do one like that, for instance. And then you probably want your little finger at the top there. But I would just use for today to put your 3rd finger at the top, keep it simple. Okay, we strum that one. Make sure we've got the open D string, the open G string here in the middle, and also the open B. So we'll strum down, we do 4 strums on that. The 4 strums are just to check the notes are nice and clear. And then the last chord we need to learn, so we've done C, G, we've done F, and the last one we need to know is just a variation of G, it's just a G7 or G dominant 7. With G7, instead of going this way, we're going to change our fingers. We're going to have a 3rd finger on the low E string on the 3rd fret, our 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of the A string, and our 1st finger is on the 1st fret of the high E string there, fret number 1. And this time we want the open D, open G, open B, and we're going to strum that all the way down, all the 6 strings. Okay. Once you've got those chords under your fingers and they sound clear, we're just testing with that 4 strum technique that you're doing there, just the 4 strums. Then you want to add a rhythm to it, because just doing the 4 strums and getting them to sing along is quite boring. So you want to add some sort of rhythm to it, make it exciting and interesting to play along with. That rhythm, I'm just going to teach it to you on the 1 chord, just on the C chord, but I'll teach you the rhythm. So with this, you want to stick to just 1 chord when you practice this, because thinking about chords with the left hand and thinking about the rhythm is too much to begin with, okay? So just think about the chord with the left hand, leave that on there on the C, and then the right hand is where you're going to do your rhythm pattern. Now our strumming pattern is going to go... The strumming pattern is down, down, up, up, down, down, up, down, up, okay? That pattern, down, down, up, down, up, say it to yourself when you practice it, okay? You might sound a little bit nuts. Say it in your head if you have to, or say it out loud, because what that does, if you're doing down, down, up, down, up, and maybe do an extra up or down, your brain will pick up on that. It's quite clever. If you do it accidentally, you do it wrong, when you're saying it in your head or saying it out loud, you'll pick up and go, hang on, no, it should be down there, not an up. Okay, so it's a really good practice just to say the rhythm that you're trying to play. So down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, and say it in the rhythm that you're trying to play it. So don't just go down, down, up, down, up. Okay, you get the idea. So you want to say it in the rhythm that you're playing. So down, down, up, down, down, up, down. Okay. If you're not confident with that and lots of people are sat around waiting for you to play, say it in your head and keep it in your head. Okay guys, I hope you enjoy that. Have fun with that, and I hope you have a great Christmas. Okay, here's a playthrough of the chords for Jingle Bells. If you'd like to, you can try and play along with this as well.